this one. You got it.
There you go.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so yeah, let's backtrack on what we did so far. So, oh, I forgot. So I need to add. Okay, so let's backtrack what we did so far. What we did is we started, how we got started on this. So first of all, we were on our desktop. We opened our command prompt using the administration. After that, we created a new folder by using the mkdir, and we call our folder by API, and then we hit enter. And once we hit enter, we navigate it right into our we navigate it right into our folder. Went into cd my API. And once we did that, what we did following that, we oh yeah. What we did after that, we typed in the following commands. For Windows, it is to be py -3 space -m space venv space env. For Linux and Mac users, what you need to type is just Python 3, remove the -3, and then you have your -m space venv space venv. That's for Linux and Mac OS users. After doing that, the prerequisites for doing that, you need to have Python installed on your computer for this to work. After that, what you do next is for Windows user, you type in venv /script. Script needs to be capital letter script. /activate. And then you hit enter. And once you hit enter, you will be created with a new line of code that includes this right here, venv in parentheses. And Linux users and Mac OS users, yours will also be different. But what you do, you just type in a dot first, space, venv, all of that stuff, venv /bin/activate. And then you hit enter and you are in also. So once that's done, then you go into your Visual Studio codes directly from the folder you are in by typing in code space dots. That's codes space dots. And that will open up Visual Studio codes for you directly from the folder that you are in. Once you did all of that stuff, what you need to do next is you create your folder by right-clicking on new file, and then you type in app.py, and then you hit enter. And once you have typed in app.py, you go back into your command prompt, command line, and then you do a few pip installation. For you to do the pip installation, you need to have pip installed on your computer. And I will provide links to all of that stuff in the chat very soon. And so you just type in pip install, type in Flask to install your Flask module. And after you install your Flask module, you type in pip install request, and then you hit enter to get also your request module. So After you've done all of that stuff, then you can type in step 1 inside the app.py, import JSON, JSON schema, OS, login, request. From Flask, import Flask in big capital letter, blueprints, JSON file, request, response. That will be step 1 once you are in Visual Studio Code in the program. Step 2 will be to create a Flask app. And you just leave this line of code, app equal Flask parentheses, and then the I keep forgetting this name, but
underscore,
yeah, underscore, that's twice underscore, name, underscore, and then parentheses. And then step 3, for step 3, you need to link our JSON file and folders. So before we type in our step 3, you just right click on new folder, and then you type in the folder that you want to use. In our case, we type in characters. And we have our characters folder here. And then we type in path to JSON equal so single quotes characters / single quotes character / and then the single quotes. Doesn't matter if it's single quotes or double quotes, but I like single quotes because it's simple for me. I use single quotes only for string reason. Yeah. And step 4 will be to create our endpoints. And before we create our endpoints, we've created our JSON file. And we've created our JSON file and implemented our JSON file inside of characters folder that we've created, that we're going to be linking it. This is our JSON file. Our JSON file has or starts with a single bracket and ends with a square bracket, sorry. We start our JSON file by typing in a square brackets that will give us the ending brackets at the same time, and then we put in our curly braces. It will give us another curly braces at the end, and then we type in this information, all of this information. They all represent one particular data, one particular object. And that's how you create our JSON file. And then we also name our JSON file Marvel underscore characters.json. And yeah, and that's where we left off at. Any questions so far? And then we can move on. For step 1, you just need to type in, you just need to install the following packages by typing in all of that stuff right here. And after typing all of that stuff, you just go into your command prompt, and then you do the pip install, which is pip install JSON, no, not JSON, pip install Flask, and pip install requests. Yeah. So, yeah. So let's move on now to creating our endpoints. And this particular endpoint is going to be like our home page endpoints. And that endpoint is going to be, excuse me, the @ symbol, app, being our app right here, .route. And then we have our parentheses and our single quotes /. After typing this, type the next one. The next line of code will be our methods, which we will create. Our method starts as def index and parentheses with a double quote, not double quote, that thing right there. And then we type in our return value. Welcome to our Marvel NGC Universe API. So once you've typed all of that stuff right there, what you do next, you just save your code. Make sure you save your code. And then what we're going to do here, we're going to run our application. So how do you run our application? You can go two ways. You can open the terminal from Visual Studio Code. All you do is to just right click on the folder, anywhere in the folder, and then you click on open in integrated terminal. And you are right there in the, right below here. You are right there in the terminal. Or you can use the command prompt. The command prompts that you have opened, and you just type in the next command that we're going to be typing in next. And that command is going to be, is it Flask? I think it's Flask on. Flask on. Okay, can anyone please explain what does line 14 mean and for index? Okay, line 14 is pretty much the, it's pretty much creating our index methods. That's pretty much what it's the only defines our methods. That's what index is. You can also call it different. You can also call it a different name, like it can be like home page or main. But I like to call it index. It's pretty much our methods for what we're about to do next. Okay. So stuff. Okay. So our next line of code, what we're going to do is we're going to run our Flask application, and we're going to do that by typing in Flask run. You can do it here, or you can do it from the integrated terminal, whichever you prefer. I prefer doing it here in the integrated terminal because it's easier for me to stay in one place rather than just going through this and then that and this and then that. And too much work for me. Okay. Now, we're going to be creating a wait, hold on one second. I think there's something off here. Interesting. Okay. It's interesting because when I clicked on the page, it gave me something different. So yeah, that's the beauty of building application. You run into codes, unexpected codes, and you have to figure out in real time why you got something that you don't want. Welcome to programming. Okay, so well, I don't have the file here, so why is it giving me this? Okay, I'll show you what it gave me. This is what the page gave me. Hello world, hello Tom. That was for, before then I was practicing for this presentation. I kind of had a page that gave me this, but here we are looking into displaying that line of code. But because I'm not able to display that line of code, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to recreate this endpoints. I'm actually going to create a new endpoint. That's where new endpoints comes in. So we'll do that. So app.routes /home page, because that was supposed to be the home page. And then we're going to call on a new method called home page. Thank you, Copilot. And then we're going to call on this line of code. Welcome to my role in this Universe API. Now, this line of code I want to see on my screen. So we will restart our application. And how do we restart our application? By hitting Control-C to quit. And then after quitting, we just go back like a step or two by typing in my keyboards, the up arrow, and then I hit Flask run right there. And my Flask run is running again, good as new. Let's see. Okay, this is not what I want, but this is what I want right there. So type in /home page. And it says not found. Okay. Why does it say not found? Oh, okay, I think it shouldn't be saying not found. I think something is wrong with this thing here. Okay, we'll go to put a base URL. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, I guess I might still be running the practice one. Yeah, I still have it running. Oh boy, yeah, I still have it running. So let me close that. Okay, I think we should be good to go now. So we'll restart this again. Clear. Last one. Let's try this again one more time. Perfect. It works now. Yeah, I had my practice program still running in the background. Thanks, Tim. Okay, turning on debug mode. Okay, yeah, I can do that for you, Jennifer. Okay, so that is what we're supposed to have here. Welcome to Marvel DC Universe API. And we'll close that. And now we're going to turn on our debug mode. Debug. Is that where it goes? I think that's where it goes, right? Let's Google this. So the fun part about being a programmer, being an engineer, is doing some research on the side while you are building programs. So let's look into debug mode. And yeah, we'll need to use app.run debug equal true. And that line of code needs to be inside this line of code. This right there. Is it app.1? Well, I can't find it here. Okay, so we are currently looking into how to activate debug mode in Flask. How to turn on debug mode in Flask. And to enable debug mode on the developer server with the Flask DMV app on, yes, can go underneath line 7 or line 8. Yes. Okay, right there. On debug true. Okay. And then we can get this one here. Okay, I think that's the line that we need. This up. Let's try running this again and see. So I think don't app that one because the application is run from the Flask command line executable. Consider putting app that one behind and if this. Okay. Okay, I see. Okay, so I will need to take that line of code here. That'll be if name dot underscore name underscore dot, single quotes colon app that one debug true. Okay, so this is how we do it. If name main app dot one debug true. Thank you, Volmi. Thank you, Jennifer, for this. So now we're going to clear this up and we're going to run our application again and see if everything is working perfectly. Mistakes gives me this same line of code. From the command line, I ran Flask Debug 1, Flask run. Okay. Instead of Flask run. Okay. From the command line, you see. Okay, let's try that. This need to work. I need it to work on my hands. Okay, Flask Debug equal 1 on in Windows. Okay, let's try that. Flask Debug. On the command line. Okay. Flask Debug. Okay. Okay, I see. and then we can type in Flask on now. Okay. Okay, I see. Okay, that works now. That works perfectly. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it. So just right click on that, and I think the app that runs stuff is the old way. It probably might be, because this line of code, I don't know why it's giving me an issue now, but I always had that one before. I don't know why it's not there anymore, but yeah. Yeah, for sure. You might also want to change the terminal use in VS Codes. Okay. Like Powershell. I don't think this app is being run as main that so that it isn't being run. No, it's not run as main, but oh yeah, it's not run as main, so we could just ignore that. Yeah. And yeah, we could just use this one instead of PowerShell. So that will probably be easier for all of us. And so okay, I've quit on this one, so I could just close this one and just focus on that one. Now okay, here we go. Yeah. Set Flask Debug again. Flask on. Okay. It still gives me the error warning, but that's okay. Yeah. So we now have our endpoints here. It's been run. And as you can see here, it displays a 200. And that the 200 code is, we have like a list of error codes. 200 are all acceptable codes, means it's a success, they're successful. 400 means they are error codes, you cannot find them. 500 is about internal server error codes. And yeah, we have like a list of a bunch of codes for error codes, and you can find them in the I believe Mozilla developer have that list here. We call that HTTP status. It's the link right there, and this is what it looks like. So we have where we have our information responses, they're all 100, successful responses 200, rejection responses 300, or client's errors are all 400, and then the server errors are all 500. So we go from 100 to 500. You need those to implement. You need to implement all of those into your API, because there will be time where you need to fetch a request, and that request will need to generate a error response. You will need to program that error response. You need to program that code into your API, so that it will be easier to analyze which error code is your fault or which error code is not your fault. That is like a issue with the program or things like that. So that is very important to have. Make sure you bookmark this. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to call on this folder here. I mean, not folder. This JSON file here. we're going to call that using an endpoint. And that endpoint what is it? And that endpoint is going to be our characters endpoints. Okay, so this first step I'm going to do here is step 5. And I'll be creating our Marvel Universe. That will be up that route. I would say Marvel, but I prefer say Universe. Marvel. Because we're going to be creating 2 more universes and 2 more JSON file. And this next line is going to be, of course, Marvel. Now we're going to start. Yeah, this is what Copilot is telling me to implement. I'm not going to do that because I know what I'm doing. We're going to call on our universe. With our Universe ID. Is 1. Then we will return welcome to the Marvel Universe. And then we implement some codes. That will be our response code, or HTTP response code, 200. And 200 stands for okay. Request succeeded means a success. We have 1 more questions. Yes, exactly, Jennifer. Exactly. So 200. Now, or else statements would pretty much be okay, so yeah, and our codes that we're going to put here is going to be 400, and our 400 codes is going to be what? Bad requests or unauthorized. 401 is unauthorized, 400 is bad requests. So we can also put in 404 not found. So which one would you like me to put in? 401, 400 for bad request, 401 for unauthorized, or 404 for not found? Let me know in the chat. Okay, we go for 00 bad requests. Okay, so we've created our API here, and now what we're going to do is we're going to save, and we're going to go into a command line here. We're going to quit a command line. Why do we need to quit a command line? Because if we run a command line right now, and then okay, it's still running right now, right? Let me show you something. If I take in my endpoints and I copy my endpoints and I go into my into my web page and I put in / and I type in the / here, universe / Marvel, and I hit enter, get an error. Why do I get an error? Because I'm not running the program. I have to close the program and then restart it all over again. But here's the thing. Something is missing here in this code. Something is missing here in this code, and that is because of this argument here, Universe ID. I did something, I made an error here on the Universe ID. So I need to figure out what that is and why I'm getting that error. Okay, that error because it's supposed to type in that's yeah. And now we're going to type in comma method gets. Okay, so that's something else I've also forgot to include. Methods gets pretty much in Flask application, we also need to include how we set up our methods, how we set up our endpoints. Can it be a get? Can it be a put? Can it be a post? Or can it be a delete? So a get endpoints is an endpoint that collects data and then return it based on what we receive, based on requests that we receive. A post endpoint receives data from the user. Let's say the user is typing the name, the email, and all that stuff. The post will collect that information and submit it to the database, and then we'll save it. That's post. And a put endpoint will edit or change any kind of data being requested, and the delete endpoints will get rid of the data being requested. So what we're doing here now is the get endpoints will be to fetch the data and actually display the data. So that's what we are putting it here. And I've changed this from Marvel to Universe ID because I'm going to be using, like I said, I'm going to be having another JSON file very soon. And for now, I have my Marvel universe that is being called using 1 as a string. And if 1 is not found, then we will display this line of code. So if I hit save, but I do not restart my Flask environments, and then I go into here, I go into my not just creating new one. One to 7, here we go. Then I go into my universe. Line of code here, I have universe and then the ID. Yes. Do you think it's going to work? Oh, look at that, it actually worked. Welcome to the Marvel universe. Okay, so I guess it worked. Let's change this one. Let's add a smiley face. And then hit save. And then restart. Oh, okay. I guess that must be because of the Flask debug that we inserted. Yeah, I guess you learn something new every day. Yeah, so that's usually I will close the application and then restart the application, I'll just quit. I'll just Control-C and then restart the application, Flask and all that stuff. But with this Flask Debug equal 1, you don't need to do that. You just go on Flask on after that, and you can use the endpoints however you want. So with that, let's see. Oh, let's run this. So we are on the Marvel Universe, right? Now let's type into and hit enter. You are in another dimension. Go back home. You're unwelcome visitor. So yeah, that's how you run an endpoint with multiple IDs implemented in. Now, next we're going to implement our JSON file, and we're going to call on all those Marvel characters to be displayed here. So, any questions? Any chats? Do we need to put header session? No, we don't need to for now. We don't need to. Yes, debug allows for hot reloads. Thank you, Bonnie. Okay. Okay, so for not found, server cannot find the requests. In also this mean the URL is not recognized. Yes, that's true. What is Flask? Is it a library? That's a good question. Let's Google it, because I honestly Flask is an API. From what I can gather, Flask is an API framework, and it lets you build websites and lets you fetch data from one specific application to the next. It uses Python. I mean, it's not. It doesn't use Python. It's built with Python, and it's very flexible. It's easy to learn. And to be honest, I've never learned Flask while I was in school. I've learned Flask on my internship. While I was at OIT, I learned Flask on my internship whilst doing the internship. And I've actually enjoyed it. And I still use Flask even at my workplace right now at BAMP. And if we are to look for the definition of Flask, not that kind of Flask, but the definition here. According to the documentation here, web development one drop at a time. Flask depends on JSON templates engine. So that's a lot of stuff. But what is Flask used for? Okay, web framework provides you with the tools, library, and technology to build a web application. A lot of things have been built. Yep, a lot of things have been built using Flask, including blogs, wiki, web-based calendar. I'm pretty sure Google was built using Flask. I'm not sure. Anyone knows? Yeah, Flask and Django. And there's a link here. Thank you, Bonnie, for sharing. The difference between Flask and Django. We have features for Flask and features for Django. Yep. Yes, it's a WYSIWYG where you see what you get framework, while Django is fully stack web framework. Yeah. So yeah, so that's. Can you use Flask API endpoints for integrating the native app, NYT app? Are they compatible? That depends on how you are using your application. I mean, if the application, if the IoT application and native application supports programming language like React Native, things like that, they are compatible because Flask supports Python and also supports other programming languages such as JavaScript and React, things like that. Can we see the code again? Yeah, absolutely. I can even post this in my GitHub page after this talk, and you guys can check it out anytime, download it, play around with it. So yeah, that's the page right there. Okay, so what we're going to do next, we're going to be calling on all of our Marvel characters. Okay, how do we do that? By creating another endpoint. So that will be step 6. Well, my co-pilot is requesting me to create a DC Universe endpoint. Are you guys up for it? That we create a DC Universe endpoint? Yeah? Jennifer says yes. Anybody else? Okay, so yeah, let's create another endpoint. We'll create a DC Universe endpoint. And I guess we don't need to do a step 6 for that. What we can do is to create another Universe ID here. So that would be something like else if your ID is 2, welcome to DC Universe. Welcome to DC Universe. That's it. Just 2 lines of code and you got it. But I don't want just 2 lines of code. I actually want to display all my JSON files. So let me create my JSON file first that includes all the DC Universe characters. Are we gonna have some middleware layer, or well, not right now. This talk is pretty much a simple way of building an API. We aren't going to do anything to complicate it for now. So yeah, let's create our DC Universe characters now. So I'm going to select, copy this, and then type in DC Universe, DC characters. Start JSON. There we go. It's paste. I'm going to change the names now. We have Batman. The Batman was post-win. It's there. I'll say it's 35. I'm just making up the age name. So Superman will probably be like 27. And also the Flash. Will become Cowboy Barry Allen. It's going to be 25. And let's create one more character, a female character. And that will be our very own of beautiful Wonder Woman. And I have to Google her name because I don't know her name, like an actual name. Diana Prince. Wait, okay, there we go. Yeah, Diana Prince, Diana, Princess of Amazon. Yeah, I told you I'm not a BTC kind of guy. I should have, if I were a BTC kind of guy, I would have known her name, but I'm not. And she's like 25 too, I guess. Yeah, no problem, Vamia. Thank you for participating. Okay, so we have all of our JSON file. We have a 2 JSON file. Now, what we need to do now is to call on this JSON file and display them on our home page. So how do we display those on our home page? Okay, let's run this. Let's run this first so that we know that everything is up and running smoothly. Close these things right there. Okay, DC. Welcome to the DC universe. There we go. Welcome to the Marvel universe. And finally, oh no, I'm not in any universe. You are in another dimension. Go back home. Yep, this one works perfectly. Okay, so now I need to display all of these and all of that stuff into my lines of codes. Yes, I made each dimension with different IDs. So when there's one ID, you are taken to another universe. When there's another ID being called, you are taken to a different universe. Yeah, that's what I did. It's like time traveling using APIs. Okay, so now I need to call on my JSON file that I've created and be displayed here in this line of code here. So what I do, how do I do that? So what I do is I need to insert a few, I need to import a few objects, a few modules. The first module I need to import is the operating system module. And I'm going to close that one for now. Oops. And I'm not clear for it now. Just type in pip install OS. Okay, it's already installed too. So that would be, okay, I'll just type in here, import OS. Don't need to import the sys. We need to import the time. Oh no, I don't need to import the time, I don't need that one. Operating system, I definitely need that. And Flask is full. No, I don't need to Flask is full now yet. We got our JSON. Okay, we need our JSON. What's our JSON file? And we also need to get, we got our Flask, we got our JSON, we need our render templates. No, we don't need render templates. We have requests, we have redirect, URL4, Flask, it's JSON file. Okay, I guess, yeah, I guess we have everything here. And yes, okay, that would be for later. Okay, so I've imported my OS, my operating system, because that's what I need to access my 2 files. And for that, you do not need to go into your command prompt to do the installation, because it's already implement it into Python. It's pretty much like a Python module. So we have, yeah, it's already on the next line. Wait, is it? Oh yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It is interesting. The next line. Yeah, we already have OS here. Good item. Okay, so I guess we don't need to do any installation, any importing. We have everything ready for what we want to do next, and that is to call on our files. So to call on our files, we need to remove all of that line of code. Actually, let's skip it because we need to return our return value. We just type in with open path to JSON, and that path to JSON is Marvel characters.json, not Marvel.json, Marvel underscore characters.json, and we have our, I keep forgetting the name of this one, parentheses as JSON file colon data equal JSON.load parentheses JSON file. And then we type in our next line of codes would be Marvel cast or Marvel characters. I prefer Marvel cast so that I can differentiate the Marvel characters list here in the JSON file and my variable Marvel cast equal JSON that's DUMPS. Inside the parentheses, we call on that data. So what I did here is pretty simple. I called on the JSON, I called on a variable, I created a variable called data, and I took on my file, my JSON file right here, and I loaded it into the data, and using my Marvel cast, I took the JSON, I extracted that JSON from my file, and now what I need to do next is to return the value of my Marvel cast. And once I return that, the JSON file will be displayed in our web page as a text file. But you see what I mean. Return cast. And that line of code is actually going to be indented like that. I don't know why it has to be indented, but when I did it before, it gave me an error. I don't know why. And our line of code will be 200. We don't need this line of code anymore. And yeah, so once that's done, hit save. And now we go back to our page. And that's interesting. Oh, yeah. Okay. That's because I quit the Flask application. Let me restart it again. It says Flask Debug 1. Perfect. Okay, it's running again. So it's okay. Welcome to the DC universe. Now, let's go to Marvel. We have a Marvel list. Steve Rogers, Captain America, Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Natasha Romanoff, Black Widow.
It's awesome.
Yep.
There you go.
There you go. Now, I want to display this in a nice, beautiful fashion. And how do I do that? I use a program called Postman. How many of you are familiar with Postman? Yeah, Postman. I use Postman all the time, but it's not my favorite program because it's like, yeah, I use Postman every day too, and it's not my favorite program because I always have to fight over it at work because it always throws all kind of random error, things like that. But yeah, we're going to be using Postman, and Postman is going to give us, the same value that we got here, but in the JSON format that I have this display here. So let's go on to Postman. And let me share the link for you to download Postman. So you just go on postman.com. Yeah, postman.com. So for you to download Postman, you just go to postman.com. You can sign up for free. And there's the desktop app, and there's also a Linux application, and there's also a application for Mac. Yeah, that's Postman right there. I'll post in the chat for you guys to download. Okay, now that says and done, let's go on to Postman, and we're going to call on that line of code here. Okay, starting. Okay, got Postman ready. Okay, so some updates. Okay, so we're going to call on our universe again. So we copy our line of codes or endpoints or universe /1 and then hit send. Yeah, I guess it didn't display the page the way I want it, but actually I can make it pretty. And how do I do that? By going on to now visualize pretty. I think it's by going on raw and JSON, yes. Interesting again. Well, I'm using pretty. I just clicked on pretty, and it's not being displayed properly. Oh, there we go. JSON. There we go. Pretty JSON. There you go. Yeah. So yeah, we have our Marvel characters here being displayed in a perfectly beautiful JSON format. And how you do that is by just going on body, click on pretty, and select JSON. And does Windows have JQ? JQ, what did you mean by that? I don't think I have JQ team. Yeah, no, I don't think I have JQ. I'm not familiar with that, unfortunately. Oh, okay, I see. JQ. Oh, it's a command line JSON processor. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that. That's something you have found out about. Okay, I see. Yeah, no, I don't have that. But yeah, that's new. Interesting. Documentation. Okay, yeah, I guess I'll definitely check it out. Yeah, I don't have that installed on my computer, so I'll definitely play around with this. Okay, so okay, now we need to do the next phase, and that will be to call on the next universe, this universe, and you'll give us the same information that we have. And how do we do that? It's pretty simple. Pretty much it's like copy and paste what we did earlier with Marvel. We can do it with DC. So we'll just go on to our line 32, and we say we've opened path to JSON Marvel, DC characters as JSON file. Data JSON.loads JSON file. DC cast JSON dump data. Done. And we change this line of code here to be DC casts. Save. You go to Postman, and then you hit enter, and we have all DC characters right there.
Awesome.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I guess I have one last thing to share, and that will be, well, let's see if I have anything else to share. Yeah, I have one more thing to share, and that would be the calling on different characters. And that one is going to require a lot of writing codes. And that one will be that will be step 6, I think, step 6. Create or specific. So we will do an app that route dot / universe / string UID, because we are using our universe to identify different universes, and string, oh no, not string, characters, because it was, oh yeah, nice, because we are trying to figure out certain characters here, and then string character ID. Okay, and our method is also going to be a get method. Okay, so we're going to call our methods hello to me, and we'll call on parameters UID and character ID. My Copilot is giving me a lot of suggestion. It pretty much wants me to implement all of that stuff that we did before, and which is kind of a good idea, kind of a good starting point. Yeah. And we're going to, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I think it just vanished. Oh, wait, there we go. Okay. So yeah, Copilot is giving me this. It wants me to put all of that stuff as a good starting line. And yeah, I will go for that, but I already set up what I want to showcase. And that will be an if universe ID equal 1 and return. Oh, wait, yeah. Universe ID 1 will be, yeah, this one right here. Get all Marvel characters, but instead of getting all the Marvel characters, we're going to erase that one and then get rid of, we don't need that line of code. No, we don't need that line of code. We can do this right here. If ID equal 1, if character ID equal 1. I guess we don't need this line of code for now. Yeah, I don't think we need that one line of code for now. So we're the universe ID of Marvel, right? And if we have a character ID, then we can return file or name. Okay, the name will be we have our, oh, there you go, gender and age. There you go. And this age was 32. Okay. Okay, perfect. Okay. And the next line of code will be character ID number 2. And this one will be Spider-Man and Black Widow. Let's put this here. We have Spider-Man here. And Peter Parker here. It's male. Gender male.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Male, female, Marvel. Okay. So there we go. 18. And we have a Black Widow who is 27. if character ID JSON File. Just need this quickly line here, and we put on our character here. I do need to put in the ID. Gender 7. Okay. And yeah, this line of code I need to add this for everybody else too. Okay, perfect. So what I did here is now from within the Marvel universe, I can fetch a character, and all those lines needs to be an elif. Because in Python, we have elif statements rather than else if statements. And if we have all our characters in and we say else, but we are looking for someone like the Hulk, but we can find the Hulk, we say no Marvel character found. Get a 404 error. Good. Because 404 means not found. And okay, we move this one out of the way. Okay. And okay, now our else if statement for Odyssey universe characters. If UID is 2, and if the character ID is 1, we need to call on a few more characters. And this is going to be like, we're going to copy all of that stuff and then paste it right below. Okay, for character ID 1, we have Batman. Okay, let me close this one here and go to my DC Universe JSON file. And take on Bruce Wayne, male 35. Okay. Copy all of this line. Get rid of that one. Is this? We have our else if statements. You copy all of that stuff. You only copy from this line to this line. Don't copy the comma. I don't want to cause any errors. So I select all of that stuff and I hit OK. I hit paste and select all of this stuff here for Barry Allen. And so I do the same thing here. Hit paste. And I call on another character, and that character is elif. And that character is going to be it's going to return JSON file. Scroll it up so you can see it clearly. And take in all this, copy, and select that from here and paste. Okay. Else no character found. Okay. Okay, let's say hit save and see if this will work. Let's go on to Postman. We call on our universe of 2 of DC. Our universe is here. Let's go on to JSON. And now let's call on Batman. Oops, characters /1, because the endpoints to fetch all the characters is universe, the ID, characters, the character ID. So the universe, the ID, the characters, the character ID. So when I hit send, I have Batman. And I type in 4 to fetch Diana, Wonder Woman. Now, let's say I want to fetch a character in the Marvel universe as index 4. I hit 1 in the Marvel universe, our character list. Okay, the ID is 4. Guess what will happen? No character found. Why? Because I only have on my JSON file, where is it? Oh, 3 characters. Captain America, Spider-Man, Black Widow. So yeah, there is a way to actually take all these characters from the file and fetch it here without me typing all that stuff here. But I've been playing around with that over the past couple of days, and I kept getting so many errors on my side. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna wing it. So that's pretty much winging it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I have. Any questions?
Anybody have any questions or anything? We good?
Yeah, that's what I just mentioned, Tim. I was working on that, and I kept getting so many errors on my end, and I was not able to pull it off, fetching the file rather than repeating it. I do know there is a way. I do know there is a command that says if you are into fetching JSON data, it's like you call on. Okay, let's see. Let me try that. About just for testing purposes. Universe ID, schedule ID. Actually, let's do that. Okay. Because we're going to get a Marvel ID. And Marvel character schedule ID. If character ID is 1, fetch fetch the Marvel character, and I want to fetch Captain America. I will try to do like a request.json Marvel characters request.json, and I will take in name, the Marvel name. That will fetch the name of my character. Here, Captain America, right? And then I will just try and call on Captain America. And if I do 1 for, so yeah, that's what I was trying to do, and I was trying to get it from the JSON file that I have, And yeah. So I guess that will be for next time. Next time I plan on actually doing that, fetching the data dynamically rather than doing the repeats. And I was also thinking about showcasing how to how to log in and log out, how to perform logging in and logging out, and having an API key be set up for different endpoints. But yeah.
Great. Thank you. Big thank you to Christian for spending some time today. Is that all you have, Christian?
Yeah, that's what I have so far.
Okay. Yeah, I want to thank Christian for everyone for taking his time today. Big thank you to help us out and everyone who came. The next, I'm in the works of talking to a recruiter for in January to do tips and tricks how to get hired as a software engineer. So look out for that. It's in the works. Hopefully we'll go through. But I'd like to thank everyone who came out today. So Christian's recording on it in his end. I will figure out a way to get that video for you guys. Maybe post on YouTube or some sort. So I'll let you guys know through a message to attach the video. But I hope everyone have a great day today. Great weekend, and thank you for coming.
Yeah, thank you guys for joining. And I will post the actually, let me share my GitHub page, my GitHub information in the chats here. And be on the lookout for this post that's going to be published. I mean, this program. I'll post that one later this evening. And I think that's it right there, right? Yeah, that's it. So make sure you follow me on GitHub and also on LinkedIn. I have a LinkedIn page also. That will be LinkedIn. And I'm on LinkedIn also. Yeah, check those out anytime. And also, if you're ever interested in reading my novel, or if you're ever interested in checking out my book, I've posted a link again in the chats, but I can post it again. Check it out anytime. That's caseytrezo.com. So yeah, that's all this stuff I have to share. And yeah, thank you guys for everything. I appreciate your participation, and I'll see you then. Have a good weekend.
Great weekend, guys. You go ahead and end
Yeah.
the meeting
Yes.
on your end.